Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, smash the like button on the way in. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today I've got a Vosteed Thunderbird in hand, but it's not just any Vosteed Thunderbird. No, this one's made with, what is it made with? Let me know in 3, 2, 1. Say it with me. PEI. You thought I was going to say Ultim, and in fact, if you said Ultim, you know what? Take accountability in the comments section. How many of you guys didn't know that Ultim is not necessarily the material? Ultim is PEI. It's just a very specific brand that makes that material. So Vosteed is not listing this as Ultim. They're listing it as PEI, which means that it is, of course, the same material, just not made under that brand. Now, this is not my first time getting a Vosteed Thunderbird on the channel or on my review desk. Shout out to Vosteed for sending this my way to check out. They wanted the good people to know that there is a new Vosteed Thunderbird available because, let's be honest, this is the Vosteed version of an evergreen button lock knife. And generally speaking, I am not the biggest fan of plunge lock designs. However, if I had to choose one, I would definitely consider the Vosteed Thunderbird for a number of different reasons. And when I started thinking about it, I decided that what better time to do a bit of a follow-up video on the Vosteed Thunderbird than when they released a new version. Now, the last one that I checked out was in their GT Mascus and M390. This one, of course, is in PEI and LMAX. I absolutely love LMAX as a blade steel choice as opposed to M390. And I know some people out there are going to disagree. They'll say, well, you know, M390, it's a bit, you know, a little bit more corrosion resistant. It's got a little bit more wear resistance, but it also means that it's harder to sharpen. And on top of that, LMAX has a little bit more toughness. And honestly, in my opinion, I would take a little bit easier steel to sharpen with a little bit more toughness that allows you to lay back that edge angle a little bit more. That's just my personal preference. I've always enjoyed LMAX, especially done by Vosteed. Vosteed's LMAX typically comes in between 60 to 62 Rockwell, although they do advertise the whole range. They say that it will be anywhere in the realm of 58 to 62. With that being said, aside from the handle scale material and the blade material being different, they also were able to reduce the weight by using the PEI material. The GT Mascus version came in at 3.5 ounces, whereas this one is going to be coming in at a very light 2.8. That's great news for those of you out there who don't want a heavier knife. For those of you who enjoy sub 3 ounce knives, this is definitely going to do the trick. And PEI is a good material overall because it is extremely heat resistant. It's pretty durable too. Also, it's a smooth material, which means that with this pocket clip in mind, you're not going to catch any snags going in and out of the pocket, regardless of the material or the material thickness. Check that out. The pocket clip itself sits flush with scales, and of course it is reversible. With those flathead screws, it means that there's no mushrooms growing in the shade, and you won't have any issue at all getting this to go in and out of the pocket, which I think is pretty phenomenal. Now, I did make the comment that I believe that this is Vosteed's evergreen button lock knife. When you think of Vosteed and you think of button lock knives, is there another version? Is there another model that pops up in your mind more than the Thunderbird? For me, it comes down to a couple key factors. The first is all of these deployment options. First of all, you've got the rear flipper, which works really well. And then, of course, you've got the front flipper, which also works really well. And then you've got the deployment hole, which you can reverse flick, or you can thumb flick, or you can use the deployment fuller. And yeah, I'm going to call that a deployment fuller, although who knows, maybe it could just be for aesthetics, which, by the way, on this knife are pretty dang good. Something else I'm a big fan of with this knife are the ergos. The ergos feel really good in hand. I've got medium to large size man hands, and I have absolutely no issue getting a full 4-finger grip in a regular grip like this. Also, we have a finger choil here, which allows you to put your index finger and your thumb right up there parallel with each other and get some extremely good cutting control. The blade itself is also extremely good looking because it's a nice compound grind. We've got a deep hollow grind here on the main, and then of course at the tip we've got a flat, and you'll see that it retains its strength by retaining its width at the spine of the blade all the way to the tip. Now, if you're wondering how that translates to a real world experience, here's a video of me cutting through some cardboard and testing that out for you. As you can tell, it has no problem moving through material, and that's not a surprise to me. Like I said, this is the second one that I've had on my desk in the last year, and honestly guys, this is just going to be a great all-around EDC knife. Now, is it something that I would take batoning into the woods to do some bushcrafting with? Absolutely not. But for a knife that can live in your pocket, not take up a whole lot of space, not take up a whole lot of room, and not weigh down your pants, this is going to get the job done for what I would consider to be about 95 to 98% of EDC cutting tasks. And when I talk to people about how they enjoy their Vosteed Thunderbird, most people have told me that it's one of their favorite knives to carry. And I've got to say that between the ergos and the aesthetics and the premium materials and all the options you can get this in, which are a lot, like I said, you can get this in GT Mascus, you could even get this with titanium handle scales if you want to spend closer to 200 bucks. I think that this one is a really nice middle ground, coming in at around $139, because it's going to give you the super steel that most people want, as well as a really lightweight and attractive handle scale look. Now, generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of yellow PEI, but I do in fact think that it works specifically on this one. I think that for the Thunderbird, they actually matched the satin finish to the yellow PEI really, really well. And so in my opinion, this could in fact be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, knives using this handle scale material. If there's a knife out there using this material that you think looks better, let me know in the comment section down below, because I am truly interested to check it out. But now I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. Are you going to check out Vosteed's end of month flash sale that's going through August 31st, or is this one going to be a pass for you? Do you love the material? Do you hate the material? Let's have that discussion in the comment section down below. And by the way, guys, if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, go ahead and click on one of the videos that pops up next.